Dear students, today's class is on the theories of Karl Marx. Karl Marx, who lived in the early 19th century, is a legend in the world history. He is known for his contributions to many fields like political science, sociology, economics and philosophy. In fact, he is an expert in many fields and had interdisciplinary knowledge in those days. His approach was scientific towards the society. He approached the society in such a way that he contributed many concepts, many theories and many philosophies. His approach to the society was unique in those days because he felt that society is dynamic and it is like a moving balance. There is only a temporary equilibrium in the society and that was his focus. In fact, Karl Marx's contribution is to understand the meaning of the society from various perspectives. He contributed economic theories, sociological theories and also political theories. If you look at the life history of Karl Marx, you will find that his life itself was a struggle. In fact, many staunch critics of Karl Marx said that the struggle for his life actually has inspired him to write many philosophies which we read today. Karl Marx's thoughts could not be bypassed by any social scientist till today. Karl Marx was born in Germany in the year 1818 on May 5th. His parents were having conflicts and he was forced to face the struggle when his father changed his religion to Lutheranism. That was the first conflict he faced. Later, at the age of 17, he joined the University of Bonn, where he met Hegel philosophers. He felt at home with the young Hegelians and he thought that the dynamics of the society was in tune with the Hegel's philosophy. However, later he confronted with the Hegel's philosophy a little bit when he met the other pioneers like Feuerbach, David Strauss and others. In fact, it is Feuerbach and David Strauss who gave him the thought of materialism. Hegel's philosophy was the dynamic philosophy. Marx changed the philosophy and he took the materialism and combined the dynamics with materialism. In other words, Hegel's philosophy and Feuerbach's philosophy were joined together and he gave a new philosophy, namely the dialectical materialism. The dialectical materialism became his approach and his methodology. Through dialectical materialism, he viewed the society. Dialectical materialism says that the society will never be static and the forces operating in the society will be always in antagonistic cooperation. This antagonistic cooperation has given rise to many of his theories. Later, we will discuss about all these theories. After his studies in philosophy in the University of Bonn, he did law. In 1840, he got his doctorate and he was in Paris till 1845. The year 1844 was one of the historical moments for Karl Marx, because it is in this year he met Engels, who shaped his life from many directions. He not only inspired him, but even gave moral support in his life. However, in 1844 itself, Marx was forced to leave Paris and rest of his life he spent in Brussels. During this time, there was a lot of revolutionary thinking in Europe, especially the Prussian War and the Industrial Revolution. All these things forced Marx to write many of his theories and concepts like alienation, wage, labor, capital, bourgeois and proletariat. All these concepts came out of the surroundings where he lived. After writing German ideology for around 15 years, he was not visible at all. Although he was with his family, he never stopped writing. During his stay with his family, he wrote the manifesto of the Communist Party and also volume 1 of the Capital. The entire world was looking for his writings during these days, and later his writings became the Bible for many. Especially the manifesto of the Communist Party has become the Bible not only to philosophers, but even for the workers, and it formed the basis of the Communist Party all over the world. Again from 1870 onwards, he came to the forefront of the life and he involved himself in the German Labour Party. This is the last political role he played. After 1880, he faced many calamities in his life. 2 of his children died and his wife also died in the year 1881. Subsequently, in 1883, his daughter died and this was a shock for him, and the same year he also passed away. Now, let us see the theories of Karl Marx. Let us start with dialectical materialism. The dialectical materialism is considered as the theoretical methodology because dialectical materialism is the theory which Karl Marx had contributed to the entire social science, and also it is a methodology to understand the society. Dialectical materialism emphasizes that the society is not static and it is dynamic or having a moving balance. So, this is the central point of dialectical materialism. Dialectical materialism was actually taken from 2 philosophies, dynamics and the materialism. That is, the material will never be constant. It rolls around or it moves from one hand to another. It is the conflict or there will be competition to get the resources or get the materials. Whoever is having the power to get the resources will be winning. So, that is the ultimate cream of dialectical materialism. The dialectical materialism has 4 postulates. The first one is that it is having a definite social structure, because without social structure the dialectical materialism will never take place. As far as Marx is concerned, the social structure includes 2 aspects, or in other words 2 dynamic forces. In his second volume of the Capital, he refers to the 2 dynamic forces or 2 groups of people as the classes. One is the powerful class and the other the powerless class. That is, one is the exploited class and the other exploitative class. So, the social structure includes 2 classes and these 2 classes will be present everywhere. The first postulate of dialectical materialism is that these 2 classes or these 2 forces will be always in conflict with each other, and when these 2 classes are in conflict with each other, a third one will emerge, which again will have one more in course of time. In other words, the thesis, the antithesis and the synthesis. This is the first postulate. The second postulate is that the society will always be changing because the needs are increasing. When the needs are increasing, the society cannot remain static. Society wants to achieve these goals or wants to achieve these needs. Hence, the society will struggle. When the 2 forces struggle with each other, the society develops and it supplies the needs. This is the second postulate of the dialectical materialism. The third postulate is that when the society changes, there will be a direction. Only according to that direction the society can change. This direction is the history or evolutionary theory, or it is the evolutionism. Marx says that there is natural evolution. This natural evolution can be seen for a long time in the history of the society. This natural evolution always will be giving rise to new societies. Fourth postulate of Marx is that even this direction can be changed by the human beings. People are handling the society. They have the power to change the direction of change with their strength and struggle. The natural evolutionism is changed by the human beings, and the human beings are directing the change of the society. These four postulates are in continuum. It is not compartmentalized, it is a continuum. The two classes clash with each other because the society wants to achieve the needs. So, every time we can see that when dialectical materialism is taking place in the society, there will be an improvement in the society, and at one stage it will always be going for the development of society. Again the new two forces will be coming, and the result of these two new forces will be another society. Whenever there is change, there are directions. These directions take place in course of time because men are also progressing. Marx says that mankind always wants to explore the world. So, every step of man is to know the world. As he rightly puts it, even if the mankind wants to know the nature, then nature has its own wisdom. So, this process continues and it never ends, that is, dialectical materialism will never end. When the dialectical materialism has to come to an end, it reaches the goal of an egalitarian society. That is the approach or the methodology of Karl Marx. Karl Marx applied this dialectical materialism in many fields. For example, in the Indian context, we struggled during the independence movement. There were two groups or two classes, the Indians at the one side and the Britishers at the other side. One is the powerful group and the other one is a powerless group. The Britishers of those days were elites and the Indians were the powerless group. The struggle is one of the longest struggles that the world has seen. It is said that there was no independent movement anywhere in the world which took place this long period of struggle. What is the result of this struggle? Free India. So, from two struggling forces, we got the new force. When we look at this from the simplest to the highest level, a concrete level is formed. The struggle was between the two forces and the new force emerged. If we are coming to the micro level, even within the families, one can see conflicts between the father and the mother. There will be a struggle between the two forces and there will be a synthesis. The synthesis is the compromise. The compromise is the synthesis. So, this is applicable to all situations. Even within one's mind, we may notice dialectical materialism. Whether he has to do this action or that action, we can combine these two forces and will be coming with a new formula. The process of dialectical materialism goes on everywhere and all times. This is fully because of Karl Marx that the entire world has understood the theory of dialectical materialism. Conflict is one of the social processes. It is universal in nature, and for conflict, two or more than two social phenomena should exist. Class, to quote an example, is the main social phenomena from where the conflict occurs or emerges. To develop or to start the society or to change the societies, two forces or more than two forces are essential. Here Marx says that the economic classes are the basis. Class is the power. The class is the grouping of human beings with a conscious effort. So, every class will be having conscience of itself, or in other words a we feeling. So, a class will be formed not only from the economic groups, but from the political groups or even the other groups such as caste groups. They all will be forming one group which Marx called as the class. The class is a group which is having a we feeling. There was a very strict or very clear cut division of people. It refers to those who have the capital and who do not have the capital. Those who are having only the labor sell it, but possess nothing else. This class Marx refers to as proletariat or the labor class. Those who own the capital form the other class and they are called as bourgeois. At one point of time, he referred a third class, that is middle class. He thought that there is no use of explaining the middle class, because only the other two classes are seen in the entire world. That is how this dichotomy of the class structure has emerged. This dichotomy of class structure, Marx feels capital owners cannot understand the difficulties and the feeling of the other class. Marx has defined the class as those groups of people who are having a collective consciousness that they are one belonging to one level of living. The other groups are looked upon as antagonistic. As these two classes always possess two opposite interests, there will be conflict between them. Because one is a powerful class and the other one is the powerless class, the conflict continues forever. These two classes, he says, that emerge from the society in the form of slaves and the masters, and later bourgeois or the proletariat. The bourgeois or the upper class has a tendency to exploit the lower class. When Marx was analyzing the concept of class, he came to another interesting concept, namely alienation. Alienation is described as a condition in which men are estranged from their work situation. Alienation in the domain of work has four aspects. Man gets alienated, 1, from the object he produces, 2, from the process of production, 3, from his own community, and ultimately he is alienated from his own self. He says that there is constant struggle between the haves and the have-nots, that is the rich and the poor, or the capitalists and the laborers. The class struggle will be taking place when the lower class gains enough power or enough consciousness. It will take a long course of time. At one point of time, the lower class will come together and they will realize that they are being exploited by the upper class or the capitalists. They will organize together and throw off the upper class. This will result in a revolution and finally, the capitalists will be thrown off. Now, let us see the theory of social change. Marx's theory of social change is the theory of historical materialism. This is actually the application of the dialectical materialism in the society. He first gave the methodology and then he applied this methodology to the society, and it resulted in the theory of social change or the theory of historical materialism. The main objective of Karl Marx is to bring an egalitarian society. Marx was never a scientist per se. In fact, he wants to bring the society to an egalitarian society, because there was lot of differentiation in the society which he hated. That is why he developed a methodology which may help in bringing a society where everybody is equal. Marx wanted to bring a classless society. In fact, if we are looking in his writing, that is in the manifesto of the Communist Party, the first sentence itself says that man makes history. As the dialectical materialism is taking place in the society, the economic resources will be moving from one hand to another, or it will be rolling from one group to another, which makes the changes in the society. This in turn gives the history of the society. So, the man is making history. He says that if man wants, he can change the society and he can bring the egalitarian society. Karl Marx found out 4 successive modes of production: the ancient, the Asiatic, the capitalist and the socialistic society. He says that every society will be and has to pass through these 4 stages. The socialistic society is his dream society, where there are no classes, where all are equal, and the medium to achieve the socialism is communism. So, the commune way of living is the community living. This struggle will lead to a revolution, and at the end of the revolution there will be a big change, that is, the society will transform into a socialist form of society. So, every social structure will be having 4 successive modes of family, and later it will become the socialist society. It is socialist societies where we can see that there are no separate economic resources and nobody can possess the resources on individual basis. It should be collective. It is the community based, and the community will possess everything. This is what he calls as socialism. Of course, we can see that Marx has predicted many social phenomena. Most of the phenomena which he predicted have come true, at least not throughout the world, but in some parts of the world. His prediction that all the societies have to pass through these stages is almost fulfilled. Maybe the stages be prolonged. One such society is the Russian society, but all these societies can be seen either simultaneously or one after the other throughout the world. In fact, most of Marx's prediction had become true, and his theory of social change even today is alive. Though Karl Marx is no more, his theory of social change, his theories of dialectical materialism, class struggle are still alive. Nobody will say it is a classical theory or it is an old theory. Even in the modern society, even in the modern literature, not only social sciences literature, in almost all the literature one can say that Marxian theories are applicable.